always like to paint scenes. So this is my diversion from the regular rosemary. I like to, for instance, if some of you were up here before, I do paint misses because I like them, and I leave usually sayings around the story, and this one is east-west, there is no place like home. The little goat came home, and then this says welcoming me back, and it's very cold outside. So I usually, like Becky, think of a theme in my mind, and then I start painting. This one, those who first come to the meal get the first meal. And this is two misses that have gone from the party to get more ale. And they are standing there talking, and this is a little cat beside it, who also likes that. Very cold night. And these, as some of you, if you looked at them, you probably saw the top one, but this is a C that was on the slides. You can see the C very much there. This one, I have a red, but I have used red, and I have used the yellow. So this was, since this was green, I wanted to work green into the design. So this is something that whenever you're painting, you have to think about. And this saying, happiness roams, let's see, happiness roams those who demand, that fills with richness the giving hands, which means the giving hands receive happiness. This is the ale, the bowl that I did for my parents. My nephew's wife, who was from Norway, made up the same for me. And it depicts different events in my parents' life, their marriage, where they were from at the time they got married, and all of us 5 kids, and the fact that they raised cattle and was a dairy farm, and just certain events in their life when they went back to Norway the very first time, and then they went by a boat, which they said was the best way to go to Norway, and then the second time they went by the plane, which they said that was not as much fun as the boat. But this is the ale hen that went to Norway, and Seattle, I believe, Minneapolis, probably Chicago, I think was the other one, St. Paul, yeah. And that was our first item, that we met a man who wanted an ale hen after we had made this, and we made quite a few for him. So that was a wonderful experience. And I think he had ties here too, Madison area. This was the one that went to Washington, D.C., and here again into Madison. But we do a variety of different things. This one, I believe I got in Norway, this bellows. And I painted that in a Knut Anderson type of way that he painted at the time. He's changed too. As a Rosenauer, you always change. What you did a long time ago is vastly different. I bought one for $5 in an antique store in Viroqua. Very small piece that I sanded off because I thought it was so bad.
It was one of your own?
Yes. And then this is an item that Becky's husband makes. He started to do some tying, which around, Becky could tell you a little bit more on how she does these, but you can make these into tinas, but this happens to be just a little something that puts maybe your money, coins or something in it. This one I painted for Becky a couple of years ago. This was also made by a man in Strum, Wisconsin. And could be a cookie jar. But I don't think she uses it as for that. Then this piece is a West Coast. This is a Bruce style. Very plain, but very lovely. She told us it was goose, if you have to think of goose. Goose as in goose. Some people say, oh, goose, something like that, but she said goose. I did a little slip here that has the strokes, and I don't know if you can see them. This is the S, and here's the C, and you do the round circles, straight lines. This is what all folk art is based on. They didn't really get paid very much for something. They usually got paid in meals, or in one of them they told us, Sigmund I think told us that in one cover it said something about the farmer's wife served very small potatoes. And I asked, well, how come she could get away with it, or he could get away with it? And he said, because so many people could not read or write. So,
well, when they're itinerants too, they
yes,
didn't stick
yes.
around.
Yeah, they didn't stick around, that's true. And there were a lot of Rosemullers did immigrate to the United States, but as you said, they are very few came to, I think the Olsen sisters, their father, was it, or grandfather came in?
I didn't remember.
There's someone in there, there's a piece in Westerheim that he came in.
Oh, okay.
And there was one trunk in Westerheim that we saw it, and it was on exhibit one time, and that was burned in a house fire, but that was one of the few that was painted by Rosemuller that immigrated. This is another type of thing. This is a round container. It's bent wood. This is not lace because I got this through a place out in Oregon. But they're very nice little boxes for the amount of money, and the fact that they're available, that Rosemullers can get, and they're more traditional than some of the other ones.